how did you find the courage to speak out about such an important global issue, and how would you advise others who don't have the courage, who haven't found that courage?
Well, you don't have to speak out, but you do have to find out. I think that's the key at the moment. It seems to me that there are very few people who really do understand the extent of this new slave trade. And of course, it's because surprisingly little is known about it. It's a criminal activity, and I mean, bigger now than drugs and arms, if we believe the numbers. But it's very difficult, of course, to the conferences I've been to, and the numbers that you get are always preceded with the words, this is all the information that we have, because it's very difficult to what's the word, to find out, because it's happening underground. So really, that's the first thing, is even coming to see Kat's film, or coming to visit the journey, the installation, finding out about what's happening. That is terribly important, because it's a first step. And you know, we had when we had the installation, there were two women came up to us and said, you know, we think, they lived in the suburbs of London, we think there's one of these houses where they keep girls, because there's a series of young girls who go in and out, and they don't speak English, and they don't talk to us, and they don't. And we said, well, you must tell the police. But of course, you know, they tell the police go, and because we have no good method of dealing with it at the moment, what the police do is they have to treat them as criminals. So, because they're criminalised, this is what we're all trying to do, is to get all the countries in Europe and everywhere to sign up to the ratification of... I'm not very good on the names of those treaties, because they get more and more complicated every time they invent a new one. Yeah. But they're very important, because they give people time to give evidence, to you know, time to recover, and that's very, very important. But that's not what you asked me. Once you've found out, I think you have to have the right information to know how to act if you see anything, because that's very important too. And there's a lot of training programs going on at the moment with people who work, for instance, in airports. Very, very difficult to spot.
Right. People
who have been taken through airports, children in particular. So that is again another big challenge. And talking to people who you know who don't necessarily think about these things, because in the end, it's absolutely unacceptable that we have a slave trade like this in the 21st century. It is beyond belief that it has been allowed to grow at the extraordinary levels that it's growing. I mean, it's leaps and bounds. I mean, if you think about it, you can make $150,000 off one girl in a year, and then you can sell her on. So, you asked me about courage. I don't know what I mean, I don't feel particularly courageous. It's not that. It's just saying, finding out about it, having found out about it, it is impossible not to speak about it and say, how are we going to address it? What are we going to do? That's all. And I think everyone feels the same way. I don't think it particularly requires courage. It's not as if the traffickers are going to find us and shoot us, although God knows they find a way. And of course it is to do with international politics as well, and to do with international levels of poverty in countries, you know, failed nations, places where there is nothing. And of course it's the women who are the first to go.
Yes, it is.
And we all know, we've been studying poverty and the effects of poverty upon women and girls for a long, long time. And there's no country where girls don't come last.